September Board of Education regular meeting to order. Jess, would you please lead us in the pledge of allegiance?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, okay. Welcome to the Board of Ed's first meeting of the 25-26 school year. The budget finally passed, but not without some serious cuts to the education proposed budget. We were forced to make some deep cuts, but even with these cuts, I fear this will be a difficult year. And as of last month, there have been some changes to the format of our meetings. This should allow for more focused and concise meetings. Tonight, we have several important items on the agenda to discuss. And with that said, I will move on to citizens' comments, therefore keeping my comments short and sweet. Okay, citizens comments. Any citizens' comments from the floor here?
Just. Hold on.
What? Oh, I was gonna recognize them by adding them to the agenda.
Perfect, I'm doing that way.
Okay, I'm gonna add them to the agenda. Okay, any citizens' comments from Zoom? Hearing none, the first thing I would like to do is add to our agenda as item 5A or VA, the Girl Scouts. And I have a motion to do that.
5A already has a spot.
Yeah, that, we had a revised,
I don't have that.
agenda,
We have that?
so it would be.
You did revise that? Where are they?
Nope, if you'd wanna do 4.
4A?
Right.
Oh,
Um,
well, this
no,
part of the.
5B.
5B.
Right after we approve
So
it.
you have the approval of minutes.
Well, why can't I do it before the approval of a minute?
Yeah.
How do you get before A? We already have an
Huh?
A. Can't get, there's no letter before A.
Oh, okay, well, change A to that.
I'm with you.
Okay.
You're the-
Change A,
You're in charge.
I am, so I'm changing it so the Girl Scouts can go, and then we'll do the approval of minutes as B.
I'll make the motion, Kathleen.
Okay.
I'll second.
I want the poor kids to go.
We appreciate it.
Anybody second that?
Justin did.
Okay, thank you, Justin. All in favor, say aye. Aye.
Hi.
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposition, say no. Oh, I'm sorry, Tom.
I'm
All
good.
right.
Thumbs up, we're good.
All right, thank you. Okay.
You're gonna state your names. Adeline Russo. Dear Reynolds Rankin. And what trip are you from?
61193.
Can you go come a little closer to the mic, please?
You can pull it down a little.
Yeah.
You guys are also
You
much
need to be
louder
able
in
to
meetings.
hear.
I know you can project your voices.
Get a little closer to it.
Yeah. No stage fright allowed here.
All right, and can you explain why you're here?
We are here because we have a project we have our silver project and we chose to fix up the outdoor where the Bradley programs are. Because outdoor play is an essential part of regulating students, especially those with special needs. We want our project to focus on cleaning up and providing sensory materials for our special needs students, and that area is limited to a specific play area.
Our silver project will create a welcoming play area including hopscotch course, bench seating, a sensory bin for our special education students that they do not currently have access to.
You girls are all set. Me and Brenda. State your names.
Brenda Lee Savanti and Peyton Bolte.
Girls, you could be a little louder. Do it again.
Brenda Lee Savanti and Peyton Bolte.
And what is your project?
Our project was our silver project for Girl Scouts, which was a shoe tying bin for the first and kindergartners.
And what does your bin include?
Our bin includes 2 shoes and pictogram of how to tie your shoes.
And where are those bins going?
To the first and kindergarten class.
So how many bins completely did you create?
We created 6.
Okay. All right, you're done. Adeline, sorry, Eliza and Alexa, sorry. State your names.
Eliza Purcell.
Alexis Lyon.
561193. I don't know if we had to do that, but.
Perfect.
We found the lack of outdoor classroom space in our local school an issue. Kids need to be outside more. We decided to survey the teachers and create an outdoor classroom space.
And what is your project going to entail? Go ahead.
We will address the root cause by clearing space at the empty playground location by supplying seating, whiteboards, dry erase markers, and having the classroom space to be available for teachers to make reservations in the school system.
So just so you're aware, all of them have been through Thompson Public Schools. You currently have a 7th grader, 4 freshmen, and then there is 1 freshman at Ellis. So yay to Thompson Public Schools for having students that participate in their community. So you guys are done.
Well, I'd like to say thank you.
Do we ask questions?
Yes, you may.
Thanks, Jessica.
So may I ask you a question?
Yes, please.
It sounds like you had input from teachers, you asked the appropriate teachers first in kindergarten, and what grades were for the outdoor classrooms?
Pretty sure it's K through 12.
K through 12. Excellent. And the shoe tying was first and second, and the bins?
First in kindergarten.
First in kindergarten, and the bins,
Oh, the outdoor
the outdoor
classroom, bin?
classrooms, yep. And what was the other one, please?
The Bradley School.
Play
outdoor
area,
bin.
yep, excellent. And you had input from all the appropriate people, you talked to the Bradley people, excellent, well done.
Great job, ladies.
Thank
you.
Very good. Thank you very much. Okay. That's wonderful. Very worthy projects. Okay, now we will have the approval of the minutes from our last meeting on August 11th. If I could have a motion.
I'll make the motion to approve the meeting minutes.
Second.
Okay. Any discussion on those minutes?
I was on Zoom for that meeting.
Yeah, it says it.
Oh, okay.
It says it.
Both you and Tom on Zoom. Okay, any discussion?
Under my comments about the enrollment breakdown, I thought I had requested it for all outplacement schools. Not just FOAG, but that's the only comment I have.
Okay,
We did that at the end of last year. Danette really hasn't had time
No, that's
for that. We'll pick
Okay.
that up for October 1.
and I can see that June was added to our enrollment report. Thank you very much. Okay. Any further discussion? Yes.
I have a question about the enrollment. Are we still in the transition period of pre-K and K?
We are, We haven't picked up, or haven't got into enrollment yet, but we haven't picked up as many students as we have in the past during this period of time,
Right.
which is surprising.
We have how many classrooms of kindergarten? Three?
3.
17 students apiece.
Mhm.
How many classrooms of pre-K?
We haven't.
Oh, I thought we were,
No, we
Just
haven't
the me-
approved the
just the
minutes
meeting.
yet.
oh, I'm sorry.
That's okay.
And should have shut up soon.
All right. All in favor, I'll put the motion to the floor now. All in favor of approving the minutes from August 11th, say aye.
Aye.
Okay, thank you, Tom. All right, any opposition, say no. Abstentions, motion passes. Okay, now we can discuss.
Apologies for jumping ahead.
That's okay. All right,
So under superintendent's report, before we get to enrollment, Principal Prentice, you were invited to come tonight in response to the donations that the Girl Scouts have made.
Monetary.
Monetary and obviously programmatically. I didn't know if you had a few minutes that you want to say a few words about those programs and the benefit to Mary R. Fisher students. And then we can dismiss you.
Yeah, well, we have, so what would you like to start first? The shoe tying or which? So, yeah, we had a meeting at the end of last school year, the spring, we had a meeting with Brenda Leese and your daughter, and she did a wonderful job. Both of them did a wonderful job of describing the need for kindergarten students and first grade students to be able to tie their shoes, which still to this day, Velcro is the way to go in the elementary school. But it was just a wonderful opportunity for those young girls to be participating with 5 and 6-year-old kids. So that was very nice. As far as the whiteboards and the markers, dry erase boards, that's always wanted. It's always needed. Every elementary school classroom needs that kind of material. So we're very, very pleased with what everybody does for us. The generosity of everybody, including PTO. We've had several anonymous donors that have really been very, very generous to Mary R. Fisher Elementary, and we are forever grateful to those individuals that remain anonymous. But on behalf of the elementary school, the teachers are very, very pleased with what we have.
So I will be bringing the picnic tables with chains and locks, because that is the community we reside in, tomorrow afternoon. And I'll have the keys in the office along with the extra markers and erasers for those crates tomorrow afternoon for you.
Thank you so much. And for every parent, every teacher that pulled money out of their own pocket to supply donations to the elementary school, it's been well received. So thank you very much. I do appreciate that.
And I want to dovetail on that a little bit. Our friends at the rectory school, you know how we have a partnership with them. They actually had a drive for us and collected school supplies and also gave our teachers gift cards to Dunkin' Donuts. So much appreciated, David and your team at the rectory school. Thank you.
Oh,
I'm going to continue.
hey,
Okay.
on to the enrollment report.
So, right now, we ended school in June with 361 students at Mary R. Fisher. We're starting school this year with 327 as of our last enrollment update. We've picked up a few enrollments. However, the thing to note was that we anticipated, because the age changed for kindergarten last year, that we would see an influx of students enroll for kindergarten this year. That didn't play out that way. I guess, reducing kindergarten to 3 classrooms, we were worried that we would, what if we came up short and had to add another classroom, but that didn't play out. So kindergarten through grade 4 at Mary R. Fisher, there are 3 classrooms of each now. And so you can see where the higher class sizes are, but for the most part, they are within reasonable class sizes. At the middle school, we have 282 students. We ended last year with 262. So we have picked up some students at that level. There was a higher fourth grade class that went up to fifth grade too. And then at the high school, we ended last year with 180 students. We currently have 175, although I do know there are 2 withdrawals to Putnam as of this week. So the numbers will drop down. So our total enrollment now is 785 students. We ended the year with 804 last year. And then you can see the comings and goings in Danette's report that we have. She's cleaned up the homeschool students, so that number is as best as we know at this time. And then students are starting and withdrawing left and right. We did get some more ELL students into the district, and our new ELL teacher is addressing the language needs of those students. Yes.
Linda, do you know the breakdown roughly of the homeschool? Is it mostly elementary, mostly high school, an even mix of all of it?
I can get that for you. I do know there were quite a few high school, because we sent out a letter regarding the high school pathways, and you can enroll if you'd like at this time. And there was quite a few high school students on that list homeschool, which I was surprised about. But I will have Danette do a breakdown of what grade levels.
Not top priority, just curious as to what.
He has that information.
Am I missing the numbers for the ELL in here?
We don't usually put
No,
that in here,
okay.
but
Ballpark.
and I'm meeting with her, I think this week, to review her caseload. So I don't have that number
Okay.
right yet. But I do know we did just recently enroll a couple of students that require those services.
Mhm.
We ended last year with 22 students. So
I have a quick question, or maybe even comment. Is there a way we can maybe work with the town and like surveying residents to see? Because I'm thinking what we're finding is that there's a lot more residents moving into Thompson that just don't have children. Because when we were going through that budgetary issues, there was a lot of adults, young adults who don't have children, don't want children, or whatever it is, and that's fine, but they're not bringing in kids to the school system. So like with this trajectory of possibly less enrollment, there might be something to it that it's just a change in our population, that there's baby boomers are staying in their homes longer. We may have a population of people that just aren't having children. Because that's kind of a big swing in families, or they're only having 1, 2. So I don't know for future planning for the school system, if a survey like that going out, or just figuring out how many children do we actually have in the town, to kind of pre-plan for.
yeah, so I can see if the town collects that, but
Yeah.
we're a member of NASDAQ, and
Yeah.
so we can have them do an enrollment projection.
Yeah.
Often they're not accurate,
Yeah.
but we can
Yeah.
have them do it free of charge as part of our membership, but
Yeah.
I can ask Amy if they collect that
Yeah,
demographic,
'cause
family demographic data. I
I
don't know.
definitely knew that was kind of a change in some of the comments that we heard, where there was a lot of no children families, so. We have Tom raising.
Interesting information to
Yeah,
have.
yeah.
Hello, Superintendent Smith. I think one thing that needs to be called out is, even though our enrollment is 785, when you add up all of the other schools and out of district and everything, we're still liable or obligated to service 940 students. So I know everybody says that our enrollment is 785, which it is. However, all those other students that are outplaced, Killingly, BOAG, it all adds up to 940 students that we're technically responsible for as students from the Thompson district. Is that fair to say?
It is, and actually financially, right, for the BOE
Correct.
students and even for busing for Ellis.
Mhm.
We do
That's a
pay
good point.
QMC,
Yep.
and then we have our, I believe, 22 students that are outplaced right now.
Correct. So I think even though I'm an outgoing board member, that's one thing that I think we have missed. I know I've missed it all the way up until just now. That financially, we are responsible, and I think that's something you guys should call out at future budget meetings as it gets time for budget approval.
You're right, 22 I off place.
Maybe there's a separate box that Danette can put together that calculates the population of students you're financially responsible for.
Yeah,
Mhm.
yeah,
Correct.
helpful
And
to
it gets tough
Keep-
because.
keep drilling that like at the Board of Finance meeting, keep
Yeah.
drilling.
And then one other thing, Superintendent Smith, is with the new report that just came out about the state schools that have to report, how does that affect us now? Does that mean that the Alice Tech or Killingly or other state schools, that number will increase? Or how does that affect us?
As far as the special education students, you mean that article?
Yeah,
Yes, so what was happening there, was that, they were, I think the, BOAGs were, the technical schools were, state technical schools were being selective on their acceptance. And they were denying enrollment for students, that had either low grades or needed additional services. And that was kind of a hidden known, we've always kind of known that. But yeah, that's what that article was referring to.
okay, so it's not that they were miscalculating their numbers, it was more on the enrollment in the beginning. I
So
mean, acceptance.
they took high achieving students, and then they denied enrollment for students with disabilities, and that's what that article was about, yeah.
Okay, thank you for the clarification.
And so that is the update on enrollment, but I will have Danette add that other box in so that we can actually carry that number. That's a good idea.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah, 'cause technically it's 940 students.
Right, because we
That's
are
not the
paying
public school.
transportation, we're paying tuition.
Financially
You've
responsible.
always should have had that number.
Right, and that also like with their whole per pupil, when they
Mhm.
start doing the crazy,
That,
know,
right,
that'll make that more of a.
make
apples
that
to
number come
apples.
down.
Yeah.
Yeah, because theoretically, if every homeschool student decided tomorrow and say, oh, you guys have culinary, I want to go to high school now. And theoretically, we could get 50 kids enrolled tomorrow if they wanted, obviously, they didn't.
We would accommodate them.
I understand that. We have the definitely have
We
the
could
space,
easily accommodate.
definitely have the space, but so it is there and. But it's not gonna happen tomorrow, but
But we thought that with St. Joe's closed too, that we were
Yeah.
gonna be inundated. We got 20,
Yeah.
maybe.
yeah.
Yes,
So the excess cost grant formula, what enrollment number is that using? Is that the on-campus enrollment number to calculate the tuition per student?
I believe so.
So that's the 785, not what we're responsible for. but
Well, you've
the-
got to include the outplaced because that is a calculator into that, right? The excess cost.
But Justin, to your point though, even though we're only being calculated on, call it 785 or 787, we still have a financial burden that's going unfunded for those out of district because they're not in our calculation.
I agree, Tom. My question was more to see if we could get that tuition number lower by, if we're fiscally responsible for 900 and change individuals. And that fiscal responsibility plays directly into our excess cost grant calculation. We're actually getting cheated out of, let's
Correct.
call it X, right? Because there's 50 or 75 that we're not allowed to divide by for our base tuition.
But
I
we're
can ask
paying-
that
but we're
question.
paying-
What we're paying for,
Right, right.
right?
Yeah, you're right.
I don't know.
I will look into
It
it.
can be.
Yeah, no, it's.
They can play games, we can play games. I'd like to be able to,
I mean, if excess cost went from 100% reimbursement to whatever it is, 64, Yeah. Ish.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're gonna go after every penny and nickel and dime we can.
Right.
Although penny, we can't use pennies anymore.
Bill, we can put an email into the fiscal people at SDE and ask that question.
If we're fiscally responsible for 900 and change,
Mhm.
but we're only allowed to use this 785. Whatever that was, 875 for that calculation. 785 for that calculation.
I don't know, there's a worksheet that you fill out, isn't there?
That's actually in Dr. Fiona's department, but yes, there is a calculation that we
Yeah.
follow. So.
The convoluted,
I understand the
Yeah.
number that I'm questioning that we're filling out
Is the number of students.
Total enrollment.
is the total enrollment.
Right.
yeah.
Because if we're totally fiscally responsible for 900 and change.
I,
But we're only
I
putting
hear what you're saying,
785.
Kristen, yeah, but if, yeah, which number do we use?
Yeah.
See, when we're not totally responsible for the Ellis Tech, we're just responsible for their transportation.
Right, but for the outplacements, the Bradley are our Bradley kids and then the VOAG,
Yeah.
right?
And all
Instruction.
the other, yeah, the BOAG we're totally responsible
Right.
for. And everybody else, the
QMC.
Bradley,
QMC.
and all those students we're responsible for. It's just the Ellis kids were only responsible for transportation.
So
I-
Kathleen,
that's-
if you were to take that number, the total number of everybody is 942.
Yeah,
If you were to minus off the 50 from Ellis, so now you're down to what, 880, 892?
yeah, but it still makes a difference, yes.
Correct,
Yeah.
big time.
Yeah,
We'll ask that question and how they calculate that. I know in excess cost, obviously, the outplace kids are included. Oh. Yeah.
I'm sorry it took me 17 years and 11 months to figure that out.
well, it's a very valid question.
Better late than
No,
never.
that's a good point, Tom.
That's right.
Thank you, Tom. Okay,
So the next thing is finance and facility.
I'd
update.
like to do facilities first, please.
Okay.
Bill Birch.
Okay. All right, so, looking around, you probably never noticed it, but it was a busy summer here. Looking around the building, about the only thing you're gonna see different is new ceilings in the high school. And you're gonna have to take my word for it that there's a lot going on over those ceilings that nobody can see. All in all, it went pretty good. Everybody did their job, they got it all done, we had a few glitches. We had a few holdups, but somehow the contractors all managed to pull it together. We got it back together. The first milestone was to get the doors open. And the big key to that was to get hot water back in the building. I believe we accomplished that on August 21st, when we finally got that hot water boiler fired. But it did, hot water was on, everybody was back. I think very few glitches to opening school, considering all that happened. The other side of the coin is that we are facing serious delays in equipment.
Oh, dear.
So equipment that we ordered in May that they told us was 12 weeks, we're at 30 now. And it's not here. The last date we got on the 8 DOAS units was that they expected to ship on September 19th. Production was supposed to finish last Friday. Air Temp has been reaching out to Aon. And they haven't responded, so that doesn't give me a warm and fuzzy feeling about that. So let's take it one piece at a time, so let's look at that. So what happens if the DOAS units don't show up? Well, we're really not gonna be in much worse shape than we were last year. The most of the equipment is for the high school. And the high school is basically heated by the baseboard radiation, which stays in place. The the air handling units that we removed, they only heated makeup air. And makeup air reduces, or at least it did reduce, based strictly on outside air temperature, so the colder it got, the less outside air came in. The heat came from the baseboard. The baseboard is still in place. Airflow was achieved by this makeup air plus the exhaust fans. So the exhaust is still in place, although it's new. And that equipment did show up and it's in place and that is all gonna be up and running. So I guess in the end, if the very worst thing happens and the DOAS units don't show up, then the exhaust fans will circulate air in the building. The radiation will keep the building warm. We might have to open a window. And that's where it's at, and it will be the way schools were designed in the 70s and 80s, and we'll have to count on opening a window until this equipment shows up. 2 units for the wooden metal shop. Yeah, and these are American-made units. We can't blame anybody else. This is all American-made equipment. The plant that manufactures those 2 pieces of equipment in Texas, they have had manufacturing problems all summer. They have not even given us an expected delivery date. We have no idea when these things are coming. In the meanwhile, Air Temp and the architect are working together to come up with a plan for temporary heating and ventilation for those areas. We've got, knock on wood, plenty of time left before it really gets cold enough to make a difference. And we will have something in place there so that we can operate those 2 areas through the winter if we have to. We're also looking at the possibility of considering some different equipment. Maybe we just cancel the contract and we order something that we can get sooner. There's a downside to that. We'd like to have equipment all by the same manufacturer. It makes it easier for whoever's looking down the road to service these things, that they're all made by the same people. So that's a consideration that we haven't even looked at yet, but it's a possibility. And then there's the one piece of equipment that somehow got left off of the original drawings. And everybody missed it. The architect missed it, the contractors missed it, I missed it. Nobody noticed that it wasn't on the drawings until, I'm gonna say, probably the first week of August or the last week of July. And so at that point, we all started to scramble, say, okay, we gotta come up with a plan for that. And we have come up with a plan for temporary heat in that area. We're gonna put baseboard heat in that area so that it will be just like the rest of the high school. They will have radiation heat and exhaust fans to keep them warm. And hopefully Wednesday, we have a plan and ready to review. And we should be able to order that equipment shortly. And the plan for that is to use variable refrigerant systems, which have a much shorter lead time. So we're thinking we may be able to get those by Christmas and get them in. Let's see, the biggest part of the whole project was the control system. And again, it's one of those things, nobody sees it. It's invisible, but it was a huge undertaking. And I guess I'm gonna say, so now that's the next milestone. We're currently working on 2 separate platforms. The old platform, which is the early childhood center and the newer part of the high school and some other areas that are DDC controls. They have been for 17, 18 years. We're working on the new platform, which is gonna be the new equipment and everything else that has been changed over the course of the summer. That in talking with the control contractors, they're saying, yeah, it's almost done. The wires are all pulled and everything else. The next step though is to test it out because we haven't seen it run. And all of the old stuff is gone. So if you think about this, since 1960, everything in the entire complex ran off of air. Air compressors everywhere, making the valves open and close, making the boilers start and stop. The air compressors are gone. They're all out. So nothing is making this stuff go now. I'm told we're really close. So that is the latest fire that I've got lit, is to say, okay, it's close, I wanna see it. I wanna be able to I wanna handle it, I wanna make it run, I wanna see these things go, so that is in the next couple of weeks. And again, I'm still saying we've got some time. Unless Mother Nature throws us a curveball and we get up tomorrow and it's 20, in which case we could all be in trouble. But that's where we are with that. The kitchen and cafeteria. The cafeteria, we're still waiting for one of those DOAS units. The kitchen, on the other hand, that equipment is all in, and the only thing we're waiting for are the registers, which are delayed 3-4 weeks because they're aluminum. And as soon as that equipment's in, the kitchen should have heat and air conditioning, which again is just a bonus because they didn't have anything. So that will all just be a plus. I guess the bottom line is that I'm pretty confident that by the time next spring rolls around, the air conditioning is going to be in place and we'll be able to keep the building cool. And for the winter, unless again, Mother Nature doesn't cooperate with me and we have one of those, 10 below zero winters, I really believe we're gonna be okay no matter what time the equipment shows up. Just a couple other things I want to throw in on the facility side is that I'm sure everybody remembers me talking about oil pumps all last winter. So those problematic oil pumps, I ordered the correct replacements in November. And all through the winter, we ran on temporary equipment, we made it run, we got it through the winter. The real oil pumps showed up in May. So we installed them. And then we started chasing back to the root cause of the problem, and the root cause of the problem is that the 10,000 gallon oil tank buried in the elementary school front yard has got a substantial amount of sludge in the bottom of it. Now, we put that oil tank in 2006. About 2 years after that, we had a contract with a different oil company than we have now, and we got substandard oil all winter. We cleaned filters every day for the entire winter, which led us to have the 2 other underground tanks cleaned, and we're not even gonna go where all that took us, cause it was just a bad scene. So we're at the point now is that this other 10,000 gallon oil tank has got some sludge in the bottom of it. We resolved the problem on Friday. I pulled the drop pipe, we shortened it 6 inches. So it's a little farther off the bottom, and as of Friday and today, it's running like a champ. I am pretty confident that it's gonna run probably until the life expectancy of that tank is up. Which everybody who's gonna be around here, take notes, is 2036, that tank has got to come out of the ground.
It's illegal.
Okay, it's a 30-year tank, we're 20 years in. And I know that 10 years from now, there's gonna be a group of people sitting around this table. And maybe none of you, but some, not Bill and I, but not.
I'll be in the crowd,
Somebody's
Bill.
gonna
I'll be in the
say,
crowd.
nobody ever told us this.
Can this end up on that long-range maintenance?
It
plan?
is.
Okay.
It is, it is, and it has been for the
Okay.
last 5 long range
Okay.
maintenance
Yeah, as long as
plans, so it's there.
Right.
So that's in the future. Cleaning the tank is another option. We could clean the tank. I would not hire the same person we hired last time. But there is a problem with that in that the tank that was purchased in 2006 only has a single manhole. And the manhole has all the pipes and electric and everything that goes down through the tank goes through that manhole. It is a, looks like about a 28-inch steel cover that then is inside of a fiberglass enclosure that is 24 inches. So,
Need a skinny guy, that's all.
no. I'm the skinny guy. And the cover doesn't fit through the hole.
So in order to open that up and clean the tank, now you're talking about excavating the concrete and taking the sump off. And you're looking at a piece of equipment that's already 2/3 through its life expectancy. My gut feeling would be to take the gamble and leave it there for the next 10 years. Until you do whatever it is you have to do.
Now Heather's first.
And then the last piece that I just wanted to throw out to everybody that's completely unrelated to all that nonsense is that the middle school soccer field is actually looking pretty good.
Yeah.
But we can't use it.
We can't use it. We got some growth on it over the course of the summer. We kept it long. We kept it like 6 inches all summer long. The problem is, just like every place else, it's really tough to grow grass without water. And there is no water. So right now it looks pretty good. It looks like the root structure is coming back. I've got somebody coming out this week. We're gonna look at it again, as far as fall treatments. We're gonna plug it, we're gonna seed it, we're gonna fertilize it again. And then we have to pray for rain, but not monsoons. So, okay, we have to pray for nice rain. And that's about all we can do with that is just pray, but it does look pretty good.
And I just want to say, over the summer months, Bill has stayed on top of this HVAC project. And I just want to thank you, Bill, for the extra time and effort.
Yeah.
Even when you weren't able to physically be here, you were connected and maintained that project. I don't think without having such a knowledgeable facilities director, we would have opened school on time. So thank you.
Well,
Thank you.
thank you.
I agree with that, and I was here a lot this summer for meetings. But the crew that he's got working for him, you wouldn't believe what this place looked like. I mean, inside and out, and everything being emptied, ceilings being taken down, plastic being put up. They did an incredible job. They really did, and I gotta give them kudos, you know, and nobody's here, but, they, once again, every first day of school, I say it, they did an awesome job over the summer. So let them know.
They did, and I certainly will.
Thank you.
Heather, you had a question?
I just have a question about like all the temporary things that need to happen to get us through the winter in the event this equipment doesn't show. Is there any cost implication and budget? Is there any additional costs relative to all of these extra things that we're kind of doing to?
So I gotta give it to you in two parts. So the equipment for the shops that we bought and ordered and didn't come.
Yeah.
Air Temp owns that.
Okay.
They've got to do it.
Okay.
The equipment that we missed and that we have to pay for.
Okay. And is that like a part of the town's capital thing?
We still-
Or does that come?
So
to
we're
us?
still,
How does that work?
we still have a fairly substantial contingency. So we're not in trouble yet.
Okay,
I don't think we will be. I think at the end, as we get towards the end of this, we're going to be looking at saying, okay, there's some money left and what might we do with it?
Okay, that's.
But
good.
we're not in trouble yet.
I would
Okay,
suggest
great.
the other bill chime in on that, because I don't think we got a lot of money left.
Contingency for the project. In the project?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think we do, even with bulletin one, I think,
Okay.
I think we've got some, well, I'm
We
not
got
concerned,
some.
yeah, I'm not concerned, I'm
I
not.
think we spent like 3/4 of it already.
Probably close with bulletin one, probably.
Alright.
And Matt, you had something?
So with the changing in height of the intake pipe, what is the functional volume of that tank? If it's 10,000, are we down to 9,000, 8,000? Yeah, probably, so it was never at the bottom anyways. Right. So we took 6 inches off of it. Matt, that's a pretty complicated math.
Yeah,
problem.
6
I think
inches
both
this
of-
way or 6 inches, is it flat on the bottom or curved on the bottom?
No, it's a submarine.
Yeah, okay.
So.
Yeah.
It's not a, we have automatic delivery, it's not enough to worry about and, yeah, I wouldn't be
Okay.
concerned about it.
Thank you.
Kathleen, Justin? Yes, Justin.
So, Bill, I do have to say, I got a chance to walk around the middle school today. I had a chance last week to stop into the elementary school. Campus looks amazing. You really should be proud of yourself and your staff
Oh, it's the crew.
for what this-
I have nothing to do with the way the campus looks.
for
It's all the crew.
for what, you know, from the paint on the walls, the floor, everything. I've seen a lot of schools recently and we should all be proud of what we have here in Thompson because we've done a very good job with very little budget. My concern with the HVAC project is I believe the grant had a date tied to it.
We already applied and received the extension on the date. So the project we now have until December of 26 to complete the project. They gave us a whole nother year.
Okay. That's where.
Yeah.
And our funding, the referendum that allocated the funding can support us through 26. Yeah, was that? Right, wanted to,
Good question.
dot i's, cross t's. All right, cool. Yeah, great job.
All right, thank you.
Thanks.
Thank you, Bill.
Thank you.
Okay. The other bills.
So, obviously, no change to the revised budget for last year. By the way, I'll have the first report for this fiscal year next year. I figured you would be more interested in than last year and wrapping up last year. Projected year-to-date spending at this point is 21,504,000, which is 100.3% of the budget. That puts us at a deficit of about $85,000 right now. We were in the black through, I think, last month at about 25. We had some year-end bills come in, which is prone to happen, and just finalization of some accounting work. This is still not final at this point. I'm still trying to see if there are some additional funds that I could push into grants. So don't take that number to the bank, so to speak. With that said, I think we do need to keep in mind how ultimately the options for the board to fund that. And I thought it would make sense to give a little update on the non-lapsing accounts. As you know, we have two. Let's walk through the BOE controlled non-lapsing account, which is the younger of the two. You may recall that the board decided to put 290,000 of surplus into that account. We made purchases of track equipment, the plow truck, the generator repair, and I believe there was some IT equipment in there too that was relatively small. That amounted to about $193,000, leaving a remaining balance in that non-lapsing account of about $97,000. And then the original non-lapsing account, which is Board of Finance controlled, so that's under the old rules, has a balance of just over $47,000. So you're looking at about $144,000 in the combined non-lapsing accounts. So after that refresher, encumbrances are almost completely wrapped up at this point. The flow of bills for 25 has largely ceased. We ended with two departments projected over budget, pretty much the same story I've been telling you every month. It's special education at about $727,000 and ESY at $122 dollars, not thousand. And those overages continue to be partially offset by lower than expected special education transportation costs. So that's how it looks like it's shaping up for the year financially. On another note, the auditors were in last week 2 weeks ago at this point for their interim testing. Went very well. Kudos to both finance teams for getting everything they needed pulled ahead of time, which really helps things go a bit more smoothly. That was nice to get behind us. They are on track to come out a week earlier than they came out last year in November. So I think it's the week or two before Thanksgiving. So we have just clicked into the mode of getting everything pulled for the next set of schedule requests and testing with the auditors for the next time around. But that went pretty well. The state finally funded our first reimbursement request, speaking of HVAC, which allowed us to pay the next rather sizable air temp bill. And I immediately turned around and submitted for the next reimbursement request. Hopefully that one will be turned around a little bit more quickly. But again, that'll also be about another $1.5 million. So those bills are, as you might imagine, with all the work, if you guys were up here over the summer, I mean, there were people everywhere and it was like an army of air temp vans out in the parking lot every day. So there was an incredible amount of work happening, so it's not surprising that the dollars followed. So that's going pretty well so far, but I will say having the budget challenges, the challenges that we had coinciding with the level of work on the HVAC made cash management a priority, let's just say. But at this point, Scott Anderson and the tax department, tax team are collecting money. And hopefully we're almost over that hump. I'll breathe a little bit easier on October 1st
Yeah.
when the banks pay the escrow accounts. That'll be a nice milestone for us in finance. Any questions?
I just have a couple. In your people services, we have the projected deficits. Do we know, and this question may go more towards Melinda, or Chris, do we know the number? It says driven by enrollment, higher level of need, critical threat assessments, student IEPs and medical needs, higher that. So do we know the number of students that was associated with? I'm not looking for actual students, but the number of students that those numbers were associated with. So the deficit of $727,000, was that due to 5 students or 50?
Well, the out of district placements would be the roughly 22 that we talk about on a regular basis. RBT related spending are, correct me if I'm wrong, Melinda.
Yeah, it's contracted services to keep
internal
students in
folks.
district, but I don't know the actual number that impacted.
Right.
Chris would probably have a better handle on that. I can ask him.
But the 22, sorry, one step back, the 22 and out of district placement. We started the year with some budgeted number of students in out of district placement. So what was the delta that caused the $305,000 deficit?
I would have to talk to Chris on that. And it's,
I do know you hit the nail on the head with the RBTs, the BCBAs, the extra services that we had to provide on site. But then there were an increase of risk assessments that were done. There was some staffing issues along the way with paras, additional paras being added. So is Chris on? No, okay. I can ask him in the morning what that number translated to
Yep.
kids.
Can we just try to, I'd like to wrap some context around that for
Okay,
next month and so that we
Yep,
can walk
got it.
the. But next budget season saying, look, we planned for this. This is what happened.
yeah,
Just as we got lucky the year before, we got unlucky last
yeah,
year.
X number of students needed a para, X number of students needed a RBT, that
Right,
kind of thing.
Right.
He knows that number.
Thank you, thank you.
you can build that.
The next item up is the non-union employee salary increases. This one's gonna be pretty easy. We had our subcommittee, finance subcommittee, you wanna discuss that?
The subcommittee met and we recommend to the full board that all non-union salaries are increased by 3%. Go by Danielle's updated list, because I don't think the one in the packet is correct. But so I'd like to make that in the form of a motion that we increase all non-union by 3%. As it's been in the past, we go as the teachers go. And if it's 1% to 3%, we've been following that model. So everybody this year is getting a 3% increase. So we thought it's fair that the non-union also gets 3%.
I'll second that.
Thank you, Tom. Okay. Any discussion on this? We had our discussion mainly, so any of you that didn't attend the. No. Okay. Hearing none. And that's includes everybody that was on our list there.
The updated list.
Yeah, the new list. So. All in favor of giving everyone on that updated list, non-union, a 3% increase? Say aye.
I,
Anyone opposed, say no. Any abstentions? Hearing none, the motion passes. And now we received a notice that Steve Sador, our current lawyer, unfortunately is moving to a new firm.
It's a firm that you're familiar with. When we have expulsion hearings, they often represent the board. He has moved to that firm. He did, I think Danielle passed out today. He sent us something over the weekend, just giving a little overview. His fee, remember when he first started years ago? That must have been in 2018. It was after my first year here. We were paying almost $500 an hour to another law firm. And we went out to bid, and Pullman and Conley came in, and at that time they set the rate at $280. And then I think a few years ago, they went up $10. And I think there was a projection for this year that they were going to increase their rates. I hadn't received a notice prior to Steve telling me he has switched firms. But the new firm is put in an hourly rate of $300. That's not something the superintendent can approve because there is a new firm change. The lawyer is the same. I will just say that he's in the middle of negotiations for our contract, so it's a bit in flux. We're in flux because we don't know who to call. There's other attorneys we work with, especially under Title IX and policies in that firm. So the discussion has to be had here today as to whether or not the board chooses to switch firms or go out to bid. But knowing that $300 per hour is pretty competitive.
Very,
It's probably low.
yeah.
I like Steve and I'd like to follow him. But I think the prudent thing to do is to actually go out to bid. And probably will end up with his new firm,
Yeah,
and even if it's close. The board can decide which way to go.
Yeah.
I think Steve is good for the district. And again, I'd like to follow him, but I think the right thing to do is get a couple of bids.
Yeah, I agree with Bill. I mean, I wrestled with this when you gave us the notice, and unfortunately, if we don't go out to bid, we will be in, yeah.
The reason I brought it, obviously I had to bring it here anyway,
Yeah.
but that was a concern of mine as well.
Yeah, we really need to go out to bid, and probably this is going to be the lowest or next to the lowest, and we have reasons to accept the non-lowest bid because we're in the middle of negotiations. It sets us back.
I'd be willing to bet that's very close anyway.
Yeah,
And we can go back to Shipman and Goodwin, and we know that that's gonna probably be higher.
yeah,
And I think we probably will stay with Steve, but
right. But we have to go through the motions of going out to bid.
Remember, he represents the general education and labor portion of the law. And then Andrew Hennius represents special education,
Correct.
which Chris, I'm going to say, I mean, he's been very successful winning lawsuits for us and mediation suits. But Chris tries to really hold back on, going down the legal route through special education. So those numbers are not high every year.
You have a question?
Question. So because this particular firm represents us when we're doing expulsions and Steve usually represents the administration. Is there any sort of a conflict of interest that we need to be aware of once we get bids back?
So then they'll have to get another firm to do the expulsions.
We never used two lawyers before. This is the first time we've ever, what?
It's always
Mhm.
been with, under Dr. Saminsky, we did this a lot.
Mm.
And we've always had one attorney from
Correct.
Chip and Good.
I can check and see what happens in other districts if they have two representing them. I don't know if the rules along the way. Remember, we went for a long period of time with no expulsions.
Right.
And then I would say since COVID, we've had at least one or two a year.
True, but prior to that, and we didn't have too many, but we've never used,
We had a lot.
well, I wasn't
I
on the
think
board,
Dan-
prior to me being on the
I
board.
think Danielle will remember, we had one a month for at least for a
Yeah,
long
well,
time.
prior to me being on the board, I've only
Yeah.
had one or two,
Yeah.
and we never had that.
We had,
double.
we had so many, I could have run the meeting. That's how.
Okay, well,
how
then you would
familiar.
certainly know. But even the one or two that I attended when I first got on the board, there was only one attorney.
Yeah.
Yeah, if we
One
can
firm.
get
Under
clarification if
Shipman and
that's a new
Goodman.
requirement and what that's gonna,
That may be something new that changed, who knows, but, and maybe that's the way Cumming
That's exactly right. Maybe that's the way that firm
does
handled
it,
it.
yeah, but Shipman and Goodman never required that.
I believe Matt has a.
I'm sorry.
Hi, just want to clarify, you mentioned the lawyer that Dr. Jones uses for special ed.
Mhm.
Which firm is that?
It's Andrew Hennius and Carroll.
So it's not related to either of the two firms? Okay, that's what I wanted to know. Alright, but we should get a bid from them. Should we get a bid from them if we're going out to bid?
I'm imagining they're gonna automatically do it.
Okay.
Yeah, so my question is, we're going out to bid, do we have the standard RFP laid out?
We'll have to dig out the one we sent out last
Mhm. Yeah, I
time.
have
Right?
that.
You have it,
Mhm.
right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
just
Edit it for anything new that we may be experiencing where we've
Mhm.
been.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know when the last time we went out for RFP is, but if we've got new services that we've been
No.
engaging with, or if we've got new things that we've been doing with this council, or if it's a higher rate than it was, like higher rate of frequency than it was before. Maybe identifying that kind of stuff all in one, special education, general services, all this kind of stuff.
When we go out to bid, I think you just gonna go out to bid for the gen ed and the labor. The special ed, we're not severing that contract. We still have that law firm in play. Then to the
You're
district's
suggesting
benefit.
we keep the two separate.
I honestly believe you should keep the two separate. We got poor service from Pullman and Conley under special education was the reason that we could, because they used two attorneys, Steve did labor and general BOE support. And then there was a separate attorney that handled special ed. So that attorney wasn't very responsive. So we were at a crossroads. We had some major issues when Dr. Jones first came on board. So for about a year, he worked with that firm and then we finally switched and got the other firm in. It's been successful. A lot of mediation and other cases that they have actually won. So, he gives us good guidance. I did have to use him at one point for labor, because I disagreed with the route that Pullman and Conley was going down. So it's good to have two of them that you can consult with.
Okay, so we're just gonna go out for the gen ed and labor.
So it's an RFP for the gen ed and labor.
How,
In other words, to take Steve's place or continue with Steve, hopefully.
and how long should that
Yeah.
take to get responses and present to us?
Well, so we'll have to work on that quickly, get the RFP out, send it out to we have a list of law firms we sent it out to last time. We've kind of blanketed the state. And then proposals came into the board, and then I think you interviewed two or three, if I remember. Because the board ultimately has to make a decision because they're representing you, what firm you want to stick with. But we're gonna have to do that quick.
So is there, Steve's already switched firms.
He has.
Is there an interim solution that we can, like, we can say, you know,
Yeah.
3 months
could we
spend up to X with Steve?
in order to keep the negotiations, could we do like a temp with him?
Yeah, I haven't thought about that. I'll talk to him tomorrow.
You know, a 3 month contract while we go out to,
Yeah, because it's gonna take at least 2 months or more to do the.
And I don't,
RFP.
here's the other thing, with us changing firms, I don't know what kind of communication I need to have with Pullman and Conley. So,
Yeah.
that's my next.
Well,
regardless, we're changing firms, right? I mean,
Right.
if we follow Steve, we're changing firms, or if we stay with the current. I guess it's, who do we hire? We hire Steve or did we hire the firm?
the
we
firm.
have a contract with the firm.
So we have a contract with the firm, so.
Mhm. Yeah.
We would have to break the contract with the firm if we wanted to follow
It's,
Steve.
it's one of those things that, you can just do a memo stating that you're withdrawing, services, but I will reach out to Pullman tomorrow, and let them know that we're gonna go out to bid.
So in the meantime, do we need?
In the meantime, we utilize. I guess for things like Title IX and policy, we're gonna stick with Melinda Kaufman and that road. And then I guess we'll have to figure out, I'll talk to Steve tomorrow, how do we continue him to finish up the negotiations while we're going through the bid process?
Right.
Or God forbid, we have a disciplinary issue in the 3-month timeframe, you know what I mean, that,
If that happened,
There's-
I'd lean on Hennius,
okay.
because they still represent
Okay.
a portion of the district.
I think after you find out that answer, it might warrant a special.
Yep.
Meeting to make some decisions.
We're gonna have to at least have the RFP out for a few weeks too.
Which is why that interim, I mean.
Yeah.
So it won't be till like November before we.
I'm assuming so, yeah.
Yeah. Well,
I think it's probably, I think it was a career move that he couldn't refuse.
Probably.
okay,
Do you need a motion, Kathy?
so do we need a motion to do the RFP or
No.
no? Just go ahead and do it.
Okay,
All right, so that's, and you can talk to Steve and see if there's something that doesn't break our contract with Comey and Woman and
yes.
hire something on a temporary basis, because we're stuck right in the middle of these.
Actually, we're towards the end. We're towards the
Yeah.
end, which is
Right,
worse,
Right,
yeah,
yeah,
so.
well, at least with the custodians, with the secretaries, we really haven't gotten to that point where we're talking money yet, so.
Hmm.
Okay, is there any old business that we need to dredge up? Hearing none, any new business we'd like to add?
I have a question. I don't know if it's new business or not. Are the students supposed to do is this the first, like, what was the new
So,
determination of when they were coming to present their?
Quarterly starting in November. Were
Okay.
you aware of that? Are you just here to be a participant? Yes.
Can we meet you?
Yes.
They're here to observe, but yes, come up and
Sean's
let's
spot.
meet you, please.
I am Madison Carlson. I'm a junior at TMHS and I am one of the new Board of Ed liaisons.
I'm Dylan Axtell, I'm also a junior, same story.
Two great students, so
Thank
we
you.
couldn't be prouder of you. Thank you for doing that. Thank you.
We will see you in November,
Yes.
unless you want to join us again and you're more than welcome. Hey, any correspondence?
No.
No? Again, citizens' comments, any from the Zoom audience? Any from the floor? Then I will entertain a motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn.
Second.
Okay. All in favor?
Aye.
Hi.
Aye.
Hey.